Hola mi gente, the prophetic weirdo here. How's everybody? I think today is June 1st, morning day after the riot. This is exactly what's going on in the fucking world. Everybody's defensive. Everybody has their guard up. Everybody wants to fight. Or everybody's ready to fight, obviously. But see, the Five of Swords it's thought. It's not really action oriented. You're thinking people are after you, but they're really not. Because if you see the man in the depiction, the illustration, whatever it's called, this guy has his swords up, but the wolves are walking away. I know, I just feel some type of way, and this is the only way that I can distract myself. All night, last night, I was on my phone, just refreshing Facebook, trying to see what I was trying not to pay attention to people's profiles who I was trying to stick to the people that I knew, You have the Justice card, balancing out the scales. Libra energy. Five of Swords is air energy, so it's Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini with the Justice card. So a lot of air right now. A lot of thinking, a lot of logic, a lot of and we got the World card. And it did appear in the reverse, but I don't like reading reversals. They really confuse me. They throw me off. Like, what? So there's a completion to something. This is about life and death. This is about right and wrong, black and white. Page of Wands. The world, symbol of life, lived in harmony with nature in all her aspects. The world is an ideal often pursued to adapt or evolve as a spiritual beings perfectly assimilated to a life here on earth as well as in the hereafter, while the fool represents the spirit unencumbered by physical form or self-awareness. The world is conscious spirit materialized. It is the unification of forces, a culmination of energy expended to work. It is success and opportunity. It is the goddess of creation, where it all began and to whence we all return. I'm sorry. The world is home, and you can hold it in your heart and in your hands. The justice, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, the justice card, right? Just as the wheel of fortune keeps turning, so does the wheel of karma keep spinning. Of karma keeps spinning, and the hand of justice keeps falling. Symbol of human law and karmic order, justice settles the harsh of those that nature has failed to sort out through her ordinary whims of fate. Like a living organism, the world strives to achieve status, a balanced state of being. When things fall out of balance, justice swoops in to make it fair, and make it right. We expect life to be fair, and the realization that it simply isn't always so can be a bummer. Justice reminds us that fairness, equality, and balance do sometimes get their say. Actions have consequences, and sooner or later, those consequences will catch up to the person, either give them a push forward or push them onto the mud, or something like that. And justice and the world are major kanas. So this has to do with, the circle of life. The way I see it is the circle of life, right? The infinity. The circle is infinite, right? We all die, and we're born and we die. Nature, it dies and then it comes back to life. It's always a constant, a constant cycle. And right here with the 5 of Swords. Continuing to cause strife when others have given up the fight, awkwardness, an inferiority complex, an empty victory, rejection, feeling dejected, unfounded suspicion, paranoia, overly protective behavior. Insecurity leads one to feel like everyone is against them, when in reality no one is paying attention. Hoarding pain, anger, and negativity after a bad situation has passed. Struggle in fitting in, feeling ostracized and unacceptable. Self-harm, a struggle that should be abandoned. Parading one's battle wounds long after the fight is over. Shame. I don't want to be that person to say, oh, Black people shouldn't be acting this way, shouldn't be doing these kinds of things, causing these kinds of things. But at the same time is, what is justice at this point? You know what I mean? Everybody's in their guard. Everybody's out for their own. This is the way I see it, and I've told my mom this too. That, people can talk a lot, say this and that. It's this person's fault. It's the government's fault. It is Donald Trump's fault. It is whatever, right? But really, we have to look at ourselves. I'm not going to sit here and say that these people are wrong. Because they do feel defensive for a fucking reason. We all do. Like I said, everybody's for their own. They only take care of their own. They don't care about, your neighbor. Like it says in the Bible, you should love and know your neighbor. And there's a reason for that. Not just for the sake of the Bible and trying to be Christian, but it's the sake of knowing. That person, that neighbor, if you know him and you love him like he loves you and knows you, 9 out of 10 times, that is gonna be your rock to help you. You're gonna need your people. And even, people, I'm not gonna say black people, because black people are not the only problem. White racists are not the only problem. Mexicans, immigrants are not the only problem. But we all have to put part in what we're doing and what we're causing, the consequences of our actions. Regardless if you feel that the world is fair or not, the world is going to keep going. Life is going to keep moving. And you being stuck like this is low energy vibration. Being like this, defensive, when there's nobody fighting you. Yeah, you could feel people are, I don't want to say this, it's going to come out really wrong. But yeah, there's going to be people who are going to step on you. They're going to walk all over you. And we've let them. I know it's hard because anything that I could say could contradict anything about the world, about people's opinions and perspectives in life. But I'm not here to point the finger or make myself look or seem better or superior. Making myself... I'm just here along with everybody, with all y'all. I'm scared. I'm paranoid. I think everybody is. And at this time and age, this is when people had to unite, because being defensive in anything, in a relationship, in a friendship, it will never work if you never put your heart into it. I mean, they always say, yeah, everybody goes through some hardship, but it depends on how you react to it, right? Because trust me, I'm not here to preach to anybody. I'm not here to boost my confidence and make myself feel better. Really, I'm here because I want to help the people. And I've gone through some things. I've gone through a lot of things to make me want to say, fuck it all. There was a point where I did say, forget everything, forget everyone. I'm gonna do whatever I want. without carrying the repercussions, who I hurt, who I caused pain on. I was like that at one point. I mean, I've been called the nasty bitch, a homewrecker. I've been called a lot of things. I've been judged by my actions. It did fuck up my reputation. But growing up, I started to realize, we live and learn, right? And there's a lot of people out there, and I used to be one of those people, People shouldn't have to go through bad shit, hard times, to evolve as adults, to mature. But then I started realizing, because me and my mom, we talk a lot. And I like to talk to her about my views and opinions of life. And that has to do with, politics and what's going on in life. Even though I don't know shit about politics, I don't follow up on politics. But the conspiracies on it of, human trafficking, child trafficking for the politicians and, the rich people. I mean, it just came out when the COVID-19 surfaced, and this boat of Red Cross, they had like kids who were supposedly rescued from underground that were either kidnapped, from their homes and taken underground to experiment and have in cages. And the result of being underground with no sunlight and in cages, most of these kids came out deformed. And it's not just like a couple hundred, it's a lot of kids. It just makes you wonder, like, oh, so that's where all the missing kids went from all over the United States. Like, you could go in right now and you'll find upon thousands of kids throughout the years too, being kidnapped, taken away from their homes, and never missing and never been found. Never. And you see these movies on TV, Hollywood. They make up these elaborate stories, and then you just think like, oh, that kind of stuff doesn't happen, right? And I see Hollywood as the Bible. They are mocking us, demonizing us, controlling us with their music. They're mocking us with their movies. They're letting us know, telling us, we know you're here. You know we're here. And this is what's happening. The Bible always said it's our own demise, it's our own destruction. In the Bible, it tells you the world is going to end. It tells you the beginning and the ending. And that's what people are afraid of, the end. But there will never be an end to this world, especially here on Earth. Because regardless if they kill every fucking human in this world, the world is gonna keep going. And you never know. Maybe new, educated, well-rounded people will surface from the ground. I wouldn't doubt it. I bet you there's people underground living already, living their own lives away from this society. Because I've said to myself, oh, I want to go to Mexico so many times. I want to get away from the society, the United States, the government. My mom and everybody else says, like, Mexico is just as bad. The cops are just as corrupt. But I would love to think that, you know, regardless of the government, the people are actually good. But are just guided in a wrong direction, especially according to the Mexican cops. Just like these cops here in the United States. I mean, has anybody seen Blue Bloods? Y'all think that's fake? That most of those things had happened already. They're not fucking new at all. It's not new news. No. This already happened. And it keeps happening. Because everybody's focused on their life. And the life that they need to live and provide for. That's the American dream. That's the American dream they wanted to force on us. It's gonna be easier than a third world country like Mexico or Africa. But let me tell you something. There's something that I mentioned to my mom. Because you saw that these have these neighbors, right? They have a big ass yard. And they're growing, right? They're cultivating. They're growing stuff. And I think they always have. I just never noticed it until now. And like I would walk through there and I would say that, you know, there would be nothing there. But they would be like dugouts. Like, you know, when you try to soften the soil, you know, to put your seeds and stuff like that. I always say to see things like that, but never think much of it or pay attention to what they were growing and whatnot. And then my mom says, oh, your aunt, oh no, your brother wanted to know if it was too late to be to be planting, to start you know, cultivating. I told him, like, no, it's May. I mean, it's already June, it's late, but given the climate, I mean, we're just you could say on track that you could plant your seeds and maybe towards the end of the summer, because that's what you do, right? You plant in the spring, they grow in the summer when everything is vital. Well, not everything, but certain parts of the earth are vital, right? Are fruitful. Whatever grows in the summer is for the winter. You know, that's what they did before, right? Cultivated, planted the seeds spring, summer it grew, and we prepare for the winter, right? Very primitive, kind of. And that's where I think we lost ourselves. We're too futuristic. We're too, I'm going to say it, lazy, you know. And then my mom started saying, "Oh, I told your aunt that she should start planting already." And then my aunt, she's well off on her age, as my mom. Mind you, they're not equipped to do these kind of things, hard labor, to be out there in the sun and cultivating. Sorry, I seen this card and it kind of threw me off, the death card. But yeah, like I was saying, that I keep telling my mom, like, this is how I want to live. I want to go to Mexico. I want to go somewhere. I want to have my own farm, isolated, secluded, somewhere away from the people, away from the city, and grow my own stuff. That's what I want. I don't want nothing processed. I don't want nothing that has to do with this society. I told her, like, I don't want to be part of this world. The lazy world, the world that always wants everything handed to them. Granted, I was like that at one point, as a child. And it does grow on you and it affects you as a child and your habits and stuff like that. I understand that. Trust me. But we gotta keep in mind that this is a cycle that we keep going through. And we're gonna keep going through it if we don't change it. If we don't change the perpetual cycles that we keep going through. And I'm only saying from experience. I might be white, and you might think I never went through anything, never suffered like my people had, but watching my people die is just as bad as, not going through it myself just because I'm light complected. The way I see it is, the United States promised us the American dream, a better life than our parents have lived. Granted, my mom and dad have gone through the most shittiest you wouldn't understand. Maybe you will. But you won't understand the hurt, the abuse, the neglect of my people. I'm sorry. I don't want to cry. I do have makeup on. We're promised this better world. And my mom, the stories that she would tell me in her life in Mexico. So simple, but yet so hard. The work that always need to be put in for a family. In Mexico, you work for your family. things were really hard in Mexico back then. Very primitive. Very hard. And our parents were promised a better life. And parents always want the best for their children. And they will sacrifice their own freedom to protect their own. They will slave themselves, suffer in silence, and just for the love of their family and kids. And the result in that has made us lazy, dependent on others, and not just that, neglected. Intentionally or some people do it indirectly. Some people don't know how to show love because they weren't shown love. And that's the older generation. Because the older generation didn't know how to love. They only knew how to provide. And it's like that's what this world has come to. They just want to provide. But there's no love there. There's no loyalty because everybody's out for their own. They only want or they only care for what they could gain out of a situation. I don't know. It's just crazy. It was supposed to be a tarot reading. It just turned out to be a rant. I just hope everyone out there watching this, whoever comes across it, I know you're scared. I'm scared. I know you're angry. I've been angry.